So most of my life, I've tried to get myself to a place where I was comfortable because I didn't really have really, really terrible things happen to me, but I didn't have like super huge, great, out of the world things happen either. So I was just trying to get to a balanced place. And I've come to a place now where I want those gigantic things that I don't really know how to imagine, or I don't know how.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
If you can't imagine them, they can't come.
Right.
But something that you don't know is that through life you have put much more there than you can currently imagine. Now, this is the perfect conversation on the heels of what we were talking about earlier. When you're looking at the physical reality, it's vivid. It's in color and stereophonic sound. In other words, it's vivid. You're translating it through your physical senses. What you see is a vibrational translation. What you hear is a vibrational translation. What you smell is a vibrational translation. But most people don't say it like that. They say, I see it, I hear it, I smell it, I taste it, I touch it, therefore it's real. And we say, yes, it's real, but it's a vibrational interpretation.
Yes.
So when you understand that this reality is a vibrational interpretation, and you begin feeling for what's in the vortex, what begins to happen is the vortex becomes more vivid. In other words, this is the next step that we want you all to follow us to. So reality is real, vivid. Vibrational reality is, for most people, Abraham's imaginary friend. In other words, we got to tell you, it's real. And if you understood that there was a vibrational reality before your earth took form, then you would understand the importance of this vibrational reality. But everything that your world will one day be is already in present tense, vibrationally active right here, right now. So here is this vibrational reality, this vortex of creation that at first you can only feel your way into. You can't look and jump in. You just feel your way there. You can feel that this comment, that this praise feels better than this criticism. You can feel that this love feels better than this hatred. In other words, so as you teach yourself the in the vortex feelings and you practice the in the vortex feelings, so you're hanging around in the vortex on a more regular basis, now what happens is you train your vibration into a frequency that allows you to see the contents of the vortex. Are you with us? Yes. That's all that's happened that lets you see this physical world. At one time, you couldn't see it. Now, most of you do. But even as you look around this world with billions of people, you see very different worlds because you are at different vibrational frequencies in your interpretation of that. You are following?
Yes.
You're driving down the same street. Some of you are feeling wonderful and some of you are feeling awful, and it's the same street.
Right.
Because your vibrations are, some of you are sick, some of you are well, some of you are clear, some of you are confused. It's your frequencies that matter. Right. So as you feel your way into the vortex, what happens is the familiarity of it then begins to afford you. Then someone walks right into your experience who's a real life person up to speed with your vibration and offers you a ticket to a train ride that you couldn't afford 2 minutes before. In other words, that's an in the vortex revelation. But it's reality showing itself to you only when you're up to speed with who you have really become. You're following?
Yes.
So when you say, sometimes people will say, well, I've got this and this and this, but what I really want, the really, really big thing, best analogy story that we have about this, a woman, a teacher of deliberate creation, has an adult daughter, and her adult daughter says to her mother, if we could buy this place in Connecticut, I could turn it into a business, and the idea of it is just so wonderful that it would make up for all of the bad things that have happened to me in my life. So her mother is asking us, should I be a facilitator? Should I help her get this thing that is so big and so good that it takes her breath away even to think about it, and that would make up for all the bad things that have happened in her life? And we said, well, we would not be a facilitator with something like that, because unless it feels like the next logical step, it cannot be sustaining.
Right.
In other words, if you through your action reach really far and try to do something that feels really, really, really far out, you're not close enough to vibrational alignment with it to maintain it. You cannot sustain it.
Okay.
So unless it feels like the next logical step,
Okay.
we would not take action. So then the question that is logical is, well, how do I parlay my desires into bigger and bigger desires? And we say, you don't have to parlay your desires into bigger and bigger desires. They're already really, really big. We've seen your vortex. It's big enough to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. We are not kidding you. What you're talking about is the layer of resistance that you've got going on that is keeping you from seeing it, and that's why it feels mysterious and big. Are you following us?
Yes.
Get in the vortex on a really regular basis, and it won't feel like such a far reach. It will feel like the next logical step. So, did you hear what we said? It was new. We have not said it this clearly before. You feel your way emotionally into the vortex by caring about your mood, by making lists of positive aspects, by being playful rather than crabby and ornery, by looking for reasons to feel good at every opportunity, until you have trained yourself into a sustainable, good feeling in the vortex, chronic vibration, and all kinds of things that were not visible to you a week ago become visible to you. Ideas, rendezvous, ideas, more rendezvous, ideas, more rendezvous. People coming to you with ideas, and you can just feel it. And when that momentum begins to happen, you don't feel like you need to call Abraham and say, is this real? Is this for sure? Should I follow this? Your attitude is more like, get out of my way. I don't care what any of you think. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. This is what I was born to do. Right. This is what I was born to do. This is who I was born to be. This is who I am, is the way you pronounce it to the world.
Yes.
No apologies. This is who I am.
Yes.
Free, clear-minded, doing what I want to do with the entire universe, having my back, the entire universe, at my beck and call, the entire universe, assisting me around every turn, always. Whatever I need, handed to me, 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 handed to me.
Wow.
Handed to me because I'm incapable? No. Handed to you because you ask and you're not in the way.
Yay. Thank you. So I don't have to have some big negative contrasting event to create that good stuff coming in. I mean, it seems like sometimes whenever something really bad happens, it's like it clears stuff out of the way and then something good comes in. But I'm tired of the big...
Well, here's the thing. If you sort of don't want it, you sort of want it. And if you really don't want it, then you really want it. But here's what happens with most people. If you get too big of a gap, if you know what you don't want, so you know what you do want, but you don't line up with it. And then you know what you don't want, so you know what you do want, but you don't line up with it. And then you know what you don't want, so you know what you do want, but you don't line up with it. Now there's such vibrational diversity between who you really are and what's going on in your vortex and who you're being on a regular basis, that then you just feel discouraged and depressed and you sort of want to withdraw from things.
Right.
It's much better to have conscious awareness, and any of you can do it from where you are right now.
Okay.
Now you know about this vortex. Now you know about who you really are. Now you understand the laws of the universe, and you do. We've spoken it clearly, and you have resonated. You can't come to a gathering like this and listen to us ramble as long as you have and not find yourself vibrationally up to speed with who you really are and what you really our nose.
Yes.
Do you realize as we visit with you, we are speaking at a very fast rate of speed on concepts that are for the most part not known by humans, and you have been right up to speed to the point that you laugh at the right times, you groan at the right times, you know exactly. You're right up to speed with us. You are in the vortex. All of this makes perfect sense to you.
Yes.
When you're in the vortex, you know this stuff.
Yes.
You do. You know it. So, knowing what you know, now all you have to do is just tend to your relationship with the vortex and let law of attraction take care of everything else. Really, that's the way that it is. And when you know that, then you bless those experiences. In other words, something will happen. Jerry and Esther and Mike and Karen, when that table came crashing to the floor, they all said, we're going to have a really good seminar on Saturday. Because they know, they've experienced it before. In other words, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. Esther is more determined to be in the vortex than ever before when she's been out of the vortex. In other words, you all do. You know. You do get clearer and clearer. And so there is not anything to worry about. Everything has been established before your participation in it to inspire from you expansion. You just have one thing has to come into place, consciously and deliberately, as a result of the knowledge that you've gathered before and here today. And that is, you have to decide that it matters to you how you feel.
Right.
Without that missing piece, you have gained nothing from all of this explanation of the laws of the universe. It has to matter to you how you feel, and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to find relief from negative contemplation. And so that's why we write books and processes, all pointed toward you reaching for a thought that feels a little better. Good time for a segment of refreshment.